Iron Stories, Episode 34, Threats. Hello and welcome back to Iron Stories. What happened last time was we finally met up with the bandits that stole some supplies from Whitewood, which is where Jebran and Katania wanted to resupply, but apparently it was attacked by bandits that stole their supplies. We tracked them down. We've got some help. We found their camp, and I would even say we had a rough start when it came to sneaking around. We just wanted to do this stealthily, but I guess they're just not made for a stealthy approach. So we had to, in the end, to fight the bandits, and it went rather okayish. Jebran went head first into the fray and got injured quite a lot. He's down, I think, at 2 health, or +2, which is quite rough. He has quite some cuts and bruises where most of the bandits were attacking him. There was also like a stabbing wound in the back and in the sides that are now bleeding, where he's bleeding out of it, and he's trying to do some first aid around it. But I would guess that for the moment, most of his when the adrenaline stops, most of his efforts or his will to fight on is probably gone, and he's now feeling the repercussions of his actions. They were also able to capture one of the bandits, one that took comically an arrow in the knee, but they bound him up. But one of them even got to flee, so they didn't catch all of them. So one of them fled, and the bound one then told them that the others are coming, or they doomed Whitewood in some sort of some way or other. They don't know what that could mean. Here they are. As I said, Jebran probably breathing very heavily, feeling now the pain as the adrenaline is slowly dissipating in his system, and he's now holding his sides where he got stabbed, and you can feel the burning pain that the bandits inflicted, and he tells the others he needs to catch a bit his breath, and he takes you can see that the bandits were indeed in the process of partying or like enjoying themselves, and there's like a bottle of I would say there's a bottle of alcohol there, which he just uses to just like take a sip for himself, and then pours some of it over his wounds to cauterize them, or to at least somewhat clean them. And he's as the alcohol is touching his open skin and the open wound, he has to bite on his tongue, or almost bites on his tongue, as this flashing pain signals that indeed the effect that he wanted is indeed there, but was maybe not the best thing. and he tells them, he needs to take a minute. Luckily enough for them, there's already a camp there that they can just they can use, and they drag the one bandit that they captured, and like they put a thing in news. No, well, not the news. They put a sock in his mouth, so to speak, but they drag him next to the camp as well, so that they have him in view as well. So Jebran and Katania are not alone in this. Well, there's Smeeder that also got a bit injured, but he's mostly fine. Katania is, I think, mostly fine, or almost fine. She used a bit better the moment of surprise that they had, and she used a bit better the distraction, maybe, so to speak, that Jebran provided them. But yeah, she's also like just catching her breath as well, just to get down, just to let the her and adrenaline as well flow out of her system. I think first things first here, that, well, I don't know, is I think Jebran here definitely wants to take him in, make camp, or just in a way to to heal his wounds a bit, like first aid a bit. I don't know. I think this takes it's for several hours in the wilds. I don't know. It's probably taking longer. So I would guess at this point he I think he turns to Smeeder that accompanied them, one of the hunters or rangers from the village, and he tells them he should go back to his village, and inform some of willing men to come and collect their supplies. The immediate danger has subsided, and they're probably not in any. If they did this alone, it will probably take them way too long. So he should just go back and inform the village people that they can get their supplies that they procured for now. He also warns I think he also warns him to keep his mouth shut about what happened, specifically when it comes to this warning, or this they should keep this I think threat, I think was the word I was thinking of, that the threat that this guy made, he should keep that to himself. So I guess at this point he's trying to compel Smeeder to do so. I don't know if Smeeder would just do that, specifically when it comes maybe to when it comes to keeping his mouth shut. It is not to say anything. I don't know. I guess this is probably more than just a simple errand that he has to take. And I guess it's also a bit. I mean, they don't, or he. I mean, Smeeder doesn't know specifically if it's just like, just would bolt as well. I mean, we came to Whitewood to seeking supplies, and as far as he know, he wouldn't know if we are any better than the bandits. So we could just when he's gone, just get the supplies that we need and just scurry away. So I mean, he's not trusting us completely and fully. So I guess making a roll for compel makes most sense here. So I think Jebran is then rolling for compel here. So because I attempt to persuade someone to do something, which is exactly what I'm doing. So now if I have to envision my approach. So the question is if I'm trying to charm, pacify, or convince him, threaten or incite him, or lie or swindle. I guess it's a bit of both. I guess it's a bit of convincing. So to get I mean, it's convincing to say, hey, we three are probably not going to or be able to just transport everything that they stole back. I mean, there were 9 people, so you should get at least as many willing men to get the supplies back. So it's some sort of convincing. But it's also probably some form of like threatening. Say, do not warn or do not tell them anything what happened here, or I mean, leave out this warning threat thingy. I could say that maybe it's also some sort of convincing, just to say, hey, we don't know exactly what he means. Maybe it's just an idle threat. It's just like he says something just to, I don't know, to keep him alive. There's nothing behind the threat, so we just need to keep it down for the moment, just to find out exactly what he means by others, what are coming, what does he mean by Whitewood is doomed, whatever. So I guess you could say that it's maybe a convincing thing. I don't think he is. Jebran tries to be threatening. Certainly, I think more if you stand your ground and like say, hey, you do this or else. I don't think it's that kind of a situation. It's just somebody telling someone, hey, do this for me. So I guess, and it's definitely not lying or swindling. I mean, he's not lying per se. He's not trying to do something illegal. Well, we don't know, but yeah. So I guess I compel here. I roll for plus hard, which is not that great for Jebran, and I mean he is in a place where he's heard, and he's probably mumbling that under his breath as he's drinking, and he doesn't make a convincing first impression. Drinking the supplies and saying, "Hey, go and get the others. We will wait here while we drink all your supplies." And he's also probably, as he's telling that, he's half screaming as the pain as he pours the alcohol on his wound, and he's screaming and grunting through the whole process. It's like, God damn, and like in this thing, so it's not probably not so convincing. So it makes sense that he has a low heart at this point. He's not that empathetic anyway. So yeah, let's roll for hard plus hard on compel. Okay, so it is a weak hit, a 6 against 2 and a 6. So it makes, as I said, that made sense when it comes to his not so nice voice, I would say. He's nice. He didn't put it nicely. He just mostly shouted it. But I think the gist of it, or the idea of the argument came at least through to Smeeder. I think I mean the arguments are sound, that they were probably not able to carry everything by themselves. So on a weak hit as above, so the thing is, so he is, so he's convincing at least that he goes back. so I take at least one momentum with Jebran, so he goes up to 4, down from 3. So I get that, but they ask something of you in return, envision what they want. So I don't know if it makes sense that he just wants a cut of the supplies. I mean, he's from the village anyways. It doesn't make sense. It's not like a mercenary from the outside. I guess he is not that he's not that convinced when it comes to his arguments for keeping the mouth shut to the village. He says, I'm getting the villagers, but I will tell them what happened here, to the detail. If there is a threat against if there is a threat against Whitewood, they should act as quickly as they can. Maybe even like like having more lookouts in the evening, etc. Just to maybe if they see them coming to flee, maybe find somewhere where they can hide or something like that, just to prepare for an attack of whatever comes, and maybe even hide a bit of the supplies as well. So if other bandits come, they just get a portion of what they gathered today, if even. So yeah, he's saying, okay, I'm going back. I'm going to get get some people, but don't. I mean, you're in no position to make any suggestion. Smeeder's first priority is the village itself. So he is, if there's a threat, they should know, and they can act accordingly. So yeah, and with that, he's just turning around before even Jebran could get a word in to contradict him or something. He just turns around and walks into the night. And it takes them some time. I think they travel like 1 or 2 hours to find the camp of the bandits. So I mean, it will at least take him double that time, so like at least 4 to 5 hours. So it will be quite some time that they're here. So they can make camp here at least to on one point heal their wounds, and on the other side, on the other hand, I guess interrogate the prisoner that they have. So that at least is consolidation prize, so they can keep. And I guess it's getting late in the evening, so it's also So I guess when Smeeder would come back, it will probably be daybreak at some point, because as I said, it will take at least some hours. I think they came to Whitewood in the evening ish. Then they did some investigation and traveled back. So I would say it's almost midnight. So if it's like 4 to 5 hours until he gets the other villagers, it will be close to daybreak. And so that's that. So they have to keep like watch for the next few hours, and as well heal their wounds. I guess Jebran tells Katania, because she's still more alert and more on her heels. He tells them to keep a watch out on the camp, while he is interrogating the poor bandit that got an arrow in his knee, and he's removing the gag that he put him, like one of the ropes that he put pulled through or around his mouth. He loosens that. And he's like holding his axe on his lap as he's talking to him. They just perched him against a stump or a rock there, and he's just sitting on another rock just opposite him, and he's just straddling his axe on his lap as he's drinking some of this alcohol or booze that he got from the supplies, and is tending to his wounds also a bit, and is looking into the eyes of the bandit, and he's telling him, okay, you can try something funny, something you can try to scream or run away, but just rest assured, it's just a swing from my axe, and you're dead. So if you value your life, it would be best that you start to talk. He then says, okay, what do you mean by, or who are the others that you're speaking of? I think that's the first thing that he's interested in. Well, it's maybe not the first thing, but I think it's the first thing that just comes into his mind right now. So who are these others? And this time around, he is using, I guess, the pain that he a bit has, and that his growly voice to undermine his specific point that he wants to make. So he's trying another compel, but this time he's full on threatening mode. He has one hand on his axe, tightly gripped around. So he's within a moment's notice, within a moment's or brink of a moment, he's able to strike if need be. So he's leaning more into the threatening side this time around. So he is doing another compel, but this time it's a threaten thing. Tell us what you know, or else there will be consequences, I guess. So another compel, but this time with plus iron, where he's much better at. Yeah, so definitely a strong hit here. A 7 against a 6 and a 3, almost not that well, but this time around, he's far more convincing when it comes to threaten people. And I guess this Lonely Bandit isn't made of the good stuff or the hard stuff. He's probably threatened easily. So he's spilling the beans, and I guess the bandit can also read in Jebran's mind. Okay, look, dude, I have a shitty day today. I just got stabbed. So I have a really short temper right now. So if you don't say what I want, you can see the bandits around you, or your colleagues around you. You're going to fare the same result. So spill the beans right now, or else. So he's really convincing this time around, or compelling this time around. So he goes back up to 5 momentum. So I get at least that momentum, and I get this. They share that information with me more or less willingly. I say more or less because I guess he's in not really a good shape to say do less as well. So the question now, of course, becomes: what exactly does he spill? What beans does he spill? What exactly is the others? What exactly could be a threat that works against Whitewood, I guess. I have some ideas. I've thought of something about this, and I wanted to bring, I guess, this story a bit more to different setting or a different um, uh, uh, different um, like location, more or less. We've dabbled now a lot on the plains and forest enclaves, so more in the on the let's say let's ground more on this more in a farming community, more on villages and settlements. Um, uh, and I guess when it comes to more brutality and survival of the fittest thing, this goes more into or what I imagine in my world is the mountain range. So they will go. I think the focus now will shift a bit more into the mountains. It just also maybe something interesting because for them or for Jebran and Katania, if they see now this silver thing, and if they want to get, I mean, they get that this is a medal, and if they want maybe more of that, they will probably need to go more into maybe in the mountain settlements where there is more where the mining operations is, but where also the more rugged people are that are resolving their conflicts with brute force. So that's what I want to shift a bit, maybe the story, the tone of the story, maybe a bit more. So when it comes to what this bandit says, I guess it's so he says he's basically like the an errand man or an errand, or the bandits. I mean, there's just loosely groups of bandits, and they are acting as a sort of like first group of like enforcers or like errand boys or errand men. So he's just basically saying that they got approached, and I mean, bandits are always around, but it's not that they are in big groups. They're maybe like two or three. They just do what they need for survival or for their amusement, I would say. So and it seems now that they started to like organize a bit better, to band together a bit. I mean, more or less the bandits here, they're just like nomads. They're moving around wherever they want to be. They don't care about rules. They make their rules for themselves. It's not that they don't. I mean, you can hire them if you have the coin. They always, or some sort of payment. I mean, they always work for something. But the ways that they're doing it is maybe more than shady. It's not. It's just some sort of. It's not like there are mercenaries. It's more that they just. I mean, I do something for coin, but if somebody else is giving me more coin, then whatever. And if they could also be that, you pay me double or I kill you. So it's more or less. So the gist of it is that they started to, and this is what he's telling them, they started to band together a bit more. So there seems to be that there is more and more like jobs for them to do. He doesn't know exactly what the reason is, or exactly what the end game is, or who is behind it, or who's on top, or whatever. But he's saying, well, look, we just got the job to gather supplies. That's what they were hired to do for the price of I don't know, for a cut of like 20% of something like that, or whatever they could carry in their pouches or whatever, they can keep. But or I don't know, maybe there's even weapons or I don't know, iron in it for them. They just need to steal supplies and bring it to a specific place where it gets picked up. He doesn't know exactly, as I said, who is behind it all and why they need the supplies. It's just that they should go around and steal supplies however they can. Some of them do it covertly, just bit by bit over time. Some, like they did, they just are just like a group of, or they band together in bigger groups and just do outright raiding, which is maybe a bit more risky, maybe a bit more flashy, to say, hey, here we are. It's not that covert, but it's more effective when it comes to the amount of supplies they can get out of it, instead of doing it one by one, maybe just in groups of 2 or something like that. So that's what he tells him. So yeah, I mean, he's probably going back to the main camp, or to the main thing where they say, okay, we just attacked Whitewood and they seem to have some sort of like reinforcement or something like that, or they found out about it, which is probably the cause. So to keep things quiet, because like I said, that was a bit of a thing that they said, okay, if you don't say anything about the whole operations here, keep that quiet. But apparently this guy isn't really that great when it comes to that. But yeah, that's what he, I think, I guess, says. Okay, so look, he's going back to the main camp, where there is like, I don't know, hundreds of other bandits that are around there. They're just there in a makeshift, like, I would say, settlement village. I don't know, where they can supply themselves as well. It's like a bigger camp where they meet, and which is probably also where they are shipping off the supplies that they got. So that guy will probably run back there and say, hey, okay, we attacked Whitewood, we were not able, and we probably have a problem. So they will probably send another group, and probably a bigger group, just to make sure that they get the supplies, and probably kill most of Whitewood, if not, just to make sure that no word gets out or something like that. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. That's basically the threat behind it all, is that some form of do that. And I think the second, I think what Jebran also is asking, or maybe I would say even it's Katania is asking. I think she has the more thinking of it, so she's more so she's asking him, so can just anyone go into this camp? So how do they know who is belonging to them, who is representing their interests, so to speak? So she's maybe also trying to compel a bit to give up a bit more of information, but she's doing it more in a gentle. Well, it's like good cop, bad cop in a sense. So Katania is the good cop. So she's just like asking in a sense of arguing or wondering. So okay, you spilled already some beans, you can spill more. So it's more of this kind of thing. So Katania is also compelling to this bandit to give out some more information. Um, so yeah, so I roll, I guess, as well for Catania to compel, but with her, because I said she's more leaning into the curious thing side of things, she's doing it with plus hard. Yeah, she also has no real problem to convince him with that. As I said, she's leaning more into her a more empathetic way. But I guess the bandit always has like an eye onto Jebran as well. That is still holding his axe on his lap. So maybe it's a bit of both, convincingly to say, okay, I think, and he's pointing to I guess a pouch at the from one of the guys that is currently lying in the mud where they killed him. And Catania goes there, opens the pouch, and she finds probably some form of I don't know, badge or something like that. I don't know what they could do. Maybe a piece of cloth that has a sign on it. I guess that would probably be the best way and the quote unquote cheapest way for them to do so. If they're in such a large group, I don't think they're just handing out like pins or something like that, because it's probably very costly. It's probably just a piece of cloth with a sign painted on it, or embroidered, maybe even on it. So I guess that's what she sees. So there's like a and it's I guess hidden away, not good enough, so that it doesn't directly others see it. So they just get it out when they need to identify themselves. So I guess the question is now, what could this symbol be? So let's see. If I roll for, I don't know if I can roll for action or I can roll for theme. Does this make any sense? I have to find maybe some. Yeah, let's just roll for theme, I guess, just to see if I can, if this makes sense, something. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so I rolled a bit on this theme table, on this Oracle theme table. Didn't get much. I had to roll a lot of it. But I think what I got out of it, and what I'm sticking maybe for now, is so it's, I think, a dark red piece of cloth, and with on it with some sort of black paint, or somehow there is a something painted on it, and it's a what it looks like a closed fist that seems about to, or is ready to punch a skull. So there's, on the left side there is a closed fist that, and then the right. Next to it there is like a skull, not that prettily painted, but I mean, it's enough to make out the gist of it, what it looks like. So yeah, and this is basically, and as Catania goes around and looks at the at the other bandits that are around, they have somewhere on their person, either in a pouch or somewhere, maybe even some of them, maybe even if it's like, I mean, it's different pieces of cloth every time, but it's always in a shade of red, and it always has this skull and fist on it, and so some of them have it like some sort of like sash that they wear around their as a belt or something like that, or on their waist. Some of them have it under their arm, covered by their armor or something like that, like a wristband that has the same iconography and color on it. So that seems to be some form of how they identify themselves around against each other, and against probably this more somebody that is behind this all. So I guess Katania is since the bandits that are still there, they don't need it. She is like gathering up 2 or 3 of those and putting away in her backpack or something like that. Thinking about herself, well, this could probably maybe at some point be handy. So she's stowing that away for now, which maybe is a bad idea. You never know, but for now she's stowing that away. And Jebran, being maybe happy on what he has heard so far, is taking the axe with both hands and with the blunt edge, or with the blunt, like basically with the hilt, or it's just hitting the bandit on the head, so he falls unconscious again, and re-gags him again. And murmurs to himself, okay, we got what we needed from him. This took, of course, some time to get all this information, but then I guess now in the end, it's for them just to wait to wait for them to for the others to return, or for Smeeda to return. So they decide now to make camp proper, so to heal themselves, to keep watch, and to recuperate maybe a bit what they had. So Jebran is making camp here. Yeah, so as I said, it's they have what little supply that they have. I mean, they can of course use some of the supplies that are just around to make camp for the moment. I mean, they're not that much hungry, but it's just more to tending to their wounds, I guess. Unfortunately, it's just a weak hit that he got here. I mean, he's just still pretty much out of it. Rolled an 8 against an 8 and a 4. Rolled really high, but then again, so I have a weak hit here. I can choose one, so I can either recuperate to take +1 health, I can partake, I can relax, I can focus, or I can prepare. I guess it's just that I take +1 health. I guess it makes the most sense. It's just that Jebran just needs to make a bit of headway. It's not that they like relax or focus at any point here. It's probably just like tending to his wounds, still keeping alert. They don't know if the guy that just ran away, how fast he has to take, or how long it goes to when he gets back. Maybe they should have asked where this camp is, but I guess there's a next day to do that. They had more pressing matters, I guess, and I've got to do so. So I guess it's Jebran takes +1 health here, goes back to 3, where he was down to 2. So he's still, he's still pretty hurt. I mean, there's like he got stabbed, and there's just like some form of first aid that he could get. He maybe cauterizes the wound with some fire, heats up some sword or some daggers, and cauterizes his wounds. They make camp here. They wait basically for the day to break. So the sun slowly rises as the fire gives out, and only a handful of ash and ember is left in the fire that in this camp, and indeed from afar they can see, as the light now illuminates the plains here, from afar they can see a group of people approaching them, and on the front of it is Smeder, and coming behind him is what he could probably guess is a group of villagers that have come to reclaim their supplies, I guess. It took Smeder probably a bit longer to gather people that are willing to come in the middle of the night, basically, to get up and walk into the night. But he managed to find some of them. Maybe, as I said, it took him maybe a bit longer. Maybe instead of, he has to go back for 2 hours and then wander back 2 hours again. So it's at least 4 hours, and it take him maybe like 2 or 3 hours to wake up people, to gather around, etc. So maybe even get around some cards. So I guess it's early in the morning now. It's maybe like 8-9 o'clock if it comes to it. As this group of people is coming to their small little camp here, where the supplies and the bandits are, and the other bandit as well. That the one bandit that is still left alive is also coming to again after his brief timeout, and I guess I guess why not? I guess because I forgot it last night. She says, "Look, the light is coming back, and it's so you will be given to the villagers for your punishment. It just point us to the direction of this camp of yours, so that we can see to it, and I guess I don't think is a completely compel here. I think the bandit just chuckles a bit and says, "Yeah, you can try your luck. There are a lot of people in there. They will kill you on the spot, even if you have the proper identification." And he just points into one direction, says here, "Yeah, walk in this direction. You can't miss it once you see it. But try your luck and die." And then he just keeps his mouth shut for the rest of the time. And the villagers slowly approach the space. They see the bandits just lying around. I don't think that Jebran or Katania took any effort to clean up a bit. Some of them gasp from the carnage that can be seen here. Now in broad daylight, it's probably a not so pretty. It's not so pretty to look at. And I would say with that, and we see the repercussions of their actions, I think, in the next episode, when they talk to the villagers, and probably are heading out to find a camp of bandits to find out more information about what the hell is going on. So yeah, I guess a bit more story exposition this time around, but we will see how this leads into the next pieces of the story. So I hope to hear you again in the next episode when you join me again.